Welcome to the cap of Week 11 SFL After Dark here in Lexington, Kentucky, as the Lexington Miners play host to the Mexico City Aztecs. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside Brett Solberg. My name is Eric Vinson. Ron Haynes and Justin reside in the stats truck. Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. And Brett, we were talking about this before we went on the air. We're in Week 11 and we're already talking playoffs. This is a huge matchup here for both of these teams as far as playoff positioning is concerned.
Well, right now, Mexico City slated at the 5 spot, and then Lexington now creeping themselves down to 11, but they're still definitely both in the playoff hunt, and it's going to be tough for Lexington, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Even at home, this Mexico City squad is a tough beast. They're defending champions for a reason, but Lexington has been strong. But the biggest question that's going to be on our plate, Eric, is what side of Lexington are we going to see tonight? They've been very up and down this season. They have. I mean, they got a victory over the Baltimore Vultures Week 1 very early on in the season. Baltimore now sitting at 7-2, atop of the playoff positioning as of right now. This Miners team likes to score a lot of points. We'll see if that is what is in store for us tonight as the Hall of Famer Gabriel Manning gets the return out to the 24-yard line, and we will see Kenny Slider come out his second season in the league. And the biggest development from the Lexington roster, Phoenix Jones inactive this week, so it's going to be more on the brunt of Dion James and Lars Bizarre to handle the carries tonight. We see Lexington come out in an I formation to start things off. Mexico City coming out with a man look on defense. Slider to throw to start things off. Airmails one and almost threw an interception right away. Brings up second down. Yeah, almost into the hands of Jeffrey Daggs, and that is one guy you do not want to throw that ball to because he's got a history of returning those guys to the end zone. 4 pick sixes in his career. He's definitely one of the best at getting some good returns. Similar formation. Lexington still wants to throw. Quick fire pass, and that goes to Manning for a gain of 9. We'll look at the Miners on offense with Kenny Slider at quarterback, Dion James the running back, Lars Bizarre the fullback, Alexander West, Alex Jackson, and the aforementioned Gabriel Manning at wide receiver. DJ Bandit at tight end. We've got Zena West, Ricky LaFleur, Jasmine Swift, Donnie Treverson, and Phoebe Collins along the offensive line for this 3rd and 1. Handoff goes up the middle, and Dion James has just enough for a first down. Yeah, it's interesting. We're kind of seeing a reverse of what's usually done in the SFL. We usually see run, pass. They start things off with pass, then run for Dion James to get a more reliable kind of run just to get that first down. Keeping it on the ground. And James will get 2 on that play. Tackle made by Fowler. We'll look at this Aztecs defense. And it starts up front with Evan Miller, Sir Ron Yates IV, Chance Wall, and Dan Tritz. John Fowler, Qualcignolia, John Osiris are the linebackers. Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, and Merrick Itera are the corners. And it's rounded out by 2 Hall of Fame safeties, Jeffrey Daggs and Max Jackson. West the motion man on 2nd and 8. Slider back to the air. Quick pass goes to Manning again. And this time gets about 5 yards. Going to set up a 3rd and 3. Yeah, a bit of a shorter look. They've been doing that on 2nd down already. And we've already seen 2 2nd downs from Lexington. Short passes to Gabriel Manning to get them closer for 3rd and short. This time from 3 yards out. Are they going to run it with Dion James again? Or are they going to switch it up? Like they'll switch it up here. Slider back to the air. Blitz picked up. He's going to set his feet and fire over the middle. Ooh. And an incomplete pass as the secondary was ready for that one. And there's your boy, Jeffrey Daggs, coming in, laying the hit, and it's going to be a 4th down. And a huge credit to Lars Bizarre. He had a great block that prevented a sack from happening, and it was almost in the hands of Alex West. But early on, we're starting to see those safeties for Mexico City really getting involved. Daggs with another breakup. And again, it's not just interceptions he's good at. He's good at breakups, too. Both the regular kicker and punter are inactive tonight for Lexington as well, so we'll see Ken Walter handling the punting duties, and he'll get one
Out to the 22-yard line, we'll see Jordan Sipe at quarterback for Mexico City come out for the first time.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that Jordan Sipe, he's been pretty efficient as a quarterback, hasn't slung the rock all that much, haven't needed to because they have, a renaissance campaign from Ray Bentley this season, but 60% throughout this course of the season is nothing to snuff at.
Miners send a blitz. It's going to be a carry for Bentley up the middle, and it's good for 3 yards. That'll give us an opportunity to look at the Mexico City offense, led by Jordan Sipe at quarterback, Jacob Morrison and the aforementioned Ray Bentley, along with Buford Van Dam at fullback, Jason Bartley, Onis Adobe, Noe Terrazas, and Jared Dumas, the rookie, at wide receiver. Bill Henry at tight end, and we'll get a look at the offensive line following this play. Terrazas, the motion man. 3 towards the top of the formation. Keeping it on the ground this time. Morrison, plenty of room as he bounces it to the near sideline. Trying to beat the linebacker and almost did, but he got plenty of yardage there to move the sticks for the Aztecs.
And that might have been just Lexington bringing too much pursuit, and it left a wide open space for Morrison way past the second level. You had the pursuing linebackers. Phil Collins manages to get the tackle, but Morrison's a speedy guy, and he has progressed well over the season. I'm surprised there hasn't been, much of an even carry load between Bentley and Morrison so far this season.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Just past the 40-yard line, pitch play, goes back to Bentley, and he'll lose a yard on that play. Offensive line for Mexico City is as follows: Salamina Osi-Lodel, Greg Forrest, Tlautani Supremo, and Ogden Foundy along the front 5 there for the offensive line. 2nd and 11. Sipe to the air. Gonna throw, finds Terrazas, and that's gonna be a first down as they creep into Lexington territory.
Now, it's a good look from Sipe as well, looking for a receiver to get in front of the football, in front of the defender, instead of trying to get ahead of him, and that might have been due to the switch, because we did see on the move, it looked to be Jay Rock that was moving, from one end to the other, so maybe he was a little bit out of position from changing sides of the field, and that's what they took advantage of.
Aztec offense moving nicely here as Sipe threads the needle, this time finds Lockett, and it's another first down.
Yeah, and Sipe has done that all season, where he has just found ways to, like you said, EJ, to just thread that needle, find his targets where there seemed to be a boatload of defenders. You had, Marco Swift in there. You've got J-Rock again. I think Travis Arthur was in the area too, around Bartley, and that's a tough throw to make, and he made it look easy.
I apologize. That was Jason Bartley there. I went back in time on that one with Nick Lockett. Play action this time for Sipe. He's in trouble, and he's going to get suplexed down into the dirt, back at the 45-yard line. Huge loss of 7, and it's going to be a 2nd and 17.
There's the other Swift in action. This time is Jaden Swift over on the defensive line. Hasn't made a lot of noise this season, but now this is, a moment where you want to make some noise, especially for a team that is down a couple guys. You've got to make up for those lost members. Now it's going to be a 2nd and a country mile situation. Mexico City's been there before, and they could do it again and just get that first down easy.
Just on the outskirts of field goal range here, but a couple downs to work with. Henry goes in motion. And the Sipe goes back to the air, sets feet, fires. He finds Henry, and that gets a good chunk of the sack yardage back and then some, sets up a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, Mexico City loves those, 10 to 12-yard plays from the pass. They don't do anything super explosive from that pass game. They have one guy that is over 60 yards, and that's Noe Terrazas for a long of 74. But aside from that, a lot of guys in that 15 to 20 range, that's kind of their bread and butter.
Three wide, single back for Mexico City. Sipe back to the air, shuffles, fires, and it's caught. Terrazas was trying his best to drag bodies into the end zone, but it gets dragged down at the 1-yard line.
And Sipe continues this perfection of, slinging the rock on this drive. 4th completion in a row. Seems like he's not even phased by pursuing defenders again. Not even phased by multiple defenders around his receiver. And, you got to have that early on if you're a quarterback. In Mexico City, they're fighting in probably one of the toughest divisions this season again in the South. And that's what they need out of him.
Gonna be a long night for Lexington if Sipe was able to throw the ball like that. Handoff goes to Van Dam, and he gets bottled up near the line of scrimmage. He'll maybe get a half a yard.
And this is a guy that you need to bring down as quick as possible because he's got the power to move himself forward if need be. Eric, we're talking 255 pounds of lean muscle from Buford Van Dam.
Big beefy dude, season 21 All-Star. 2nd and goal. Back to the ground game. Mexico City trying to use the run game to their advantage here in the short yardage situation, but nothing doing. It's now 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Van Dam went out and they went with BJ Askew on the carry. Didn't work out again. And Lexington, they've been known a couple times for having some great goal line stands inside the 5-yard line.
Sipe trying to take it himself and gets absolutely obliterated, sent to the shadow realm. And now it's going to be a 4th and goal for Mexico City.
And Mexico City can't be at fault for the decisions that they're making. If anybody else was, coaching this team, they probably would want to run the ball 3 times. Lexington's defensive line has just been up to par.
Chip shot field goal. Chaz Blackwater is able to add 3 points for Mexico City on the opening drive. 12 plays, 76 yards. Impressive first drive here for the Aztecs, but more importantly, Lexington was able to make a goal line stand there and force the 3 points.
And more importantly, with that goal line stop, I believe Jaden Swift gets a little bit of money into his bank account now with that.
Manning with his 2nd return. He'll bring it out to the 21-yard line, and Lexington will get another crack at the football. And good job by their defense to go ahead and keep it to 3 points here because Jordan Sipe has been looking sharp early on. We'll see if Kenny Slider can replicate that.
I mean, Sipe already 4 for 4 for 64 yards, and that was just off of 1 drive, 1 possession. Slider and company, they need to respond. They can't have this drive stall.
Handoff, James trying to find some room and does so. Getting about getting about 9 yards on that play, bringing up 2nd and 1.
Yeah, EJ, there's a huge difference between 4 and 9. I need you to focus. Yeah, I need you to get off that whiskey and you need to focus on where the yardages are.
Quick first quarter of play here. Only 2 minutes to go here in the opening frame. Staying on the ground is the Miners. And close to the line to gain. Fowler with the tackle, bringing up a 3rd and about an index card.
And what hasn't been mentioned a lot this season has been Mexico City's defense. And I highlight John Fowler as probably the biggest, impact player on that defense this season. He's on the verge of being an all-star, but he's definitely been the defensive MVP for Mexico City this season.
Still on the ground, spin move. Mexico City ready for it. Losing a half a yard, forcing a 4th down, and a 3 and out now for the Miners is not what you wanted for this Lexington offense.
And again, it's Fowler with the finishing touches. Yolia had a great first hit, and it gave Fowler the chance to make a stop. And again, I go back to the start of that drive. You cannot have it stall because if Mexico City gets the chance, they're going to hold on to that ball.
Some punt out to about the 30-yard line, return to the 33, and 1:02 to go here for Mexico City to work with in the opening quarter of play.
Yeah, and what's scary is that Mexico City, they had a really, really good drive that was stalled right at the 1-yard line. Maybe they can make some adjustments left with this 1:02 left and carry it over into the 2nd quarter. They could break things open early if Lexington isn't ready for it.
3 wide single back, Sipe to the air. Good pocket, uncorks one, and a penalty flag on the play. And I think the defender got there a little early.
And you're talking about like a close shave early here, Eric. I'm not sure if Travis Arthur should be penalized personally. We'll see the replay. This one's tough one-on-one coverage between him and Bill Henry. And, you talk about those ticky-tack calls all the time. We've talked about it all season, and that one is pretty close.
That one was definitely a little bit on the closer side. Big yardage gain from the penalty into Lexington territory. And Sipe is back to the air again. Throws.
Wow.
Finds his man Bartley, and that's going to be another first down.
Man, they were striking hard and early in this drive. That's 2 long passes from Sipe. But if the guys are open, you sling that baby. And man, he broke wide open. Heslip didn't even know where he was until that ball was about halfway to Bartley as well. So Lexington secondary, they need to be ready now for any pass coming from Sipe.
To the ground this time. Morrison is going to get a gain of 5, and we'll look at this Miners defense here quickly while we have a chance. Chris Andrews, Berto DeMora, Mike Mello, and Jaden Swift along the front 4. David Ware, Iggy Turner, Philadelphia Collins, and Tony Roberto, the linebackers. Nate Heslip, Jay Rock, Cameron Shaw, the corners. Travis Arthur and Marcus Swift are the safeties. 2nd and 5, maybe the last play of the first quarter, as Van Dam lowers his shoulder and is going to get the first down, putting the Aztecs in a 1st and goal situation as the first quarter comes to a close here in Kentucky. A 3-0 lead early on for the Aztecs over the Miners, but Mexico City is knocking on the door. You're watching the SFL on VFN. Eric Vincent here, Brett Zolberg there, Ron Haynes and Justin reside in the stats truck, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. 1st and goal now for the Aztecs from about the 3. Sipe to throw in this situation, and man, that was a head scratcher of a call, honestly. I mean, I understand given what happened on the last possession, but man, 1st and goal from the 3, you run across it to the tight end.
It's an interesting play because that ball probably went as fast as Mike St. Green in real life running, but you go with whatever you can.
And again, trying to go Henry's way. One-on-one matchup there on the outside, which I guess was the way to go with Heslip, but not a great ball there.
Also a weird little fade route that was trying to be played by Henry as well. And I don't know if tight ends are the type of guys that you want to have go on a fade, but to each their own.
Another 3rd and goal from short yardage situation, but this time Buford Van Dam is able to punch it into the end zone. First touchdown of the game goes to the Aztecs.
And then I told you earlier, 255 pounds of lean fullback machine is BVD, and he wasn't going to get denied again in a goal line situation. He's got the strength just to push forward, breeze past Lexington defenders. And again, Mexico City, it felt effortless for them to get inside the goal line, get into a goal line situation. This time, they convert on 3rd and goal, and now breaking things open to potentially a 10-point lead with this extra point.
Bad snap, but gets it down, and Blackwater is able to nail the extra point to make it a 10-point game. And, I mean, we touched on it in the last possession. If the Aztecs offense is going to be humming like this, it's going to be a long night for Lexington.
Yeah, and it is, and Lexington can't afford to have a situation where Mexico City just scores them in bunches, especially with the inactive players that Lexington have on the board. So this drive is going to be critical moving forward in this game.
Manning with another return. This time he'll bring it out to the 25-yard line as the Miners are looking to get some sort of offensive momentum at all, really. I mean, the first possession, a little bit of movement, first down here and there. Second possession, 3 and out, and now they're facing a 10-point deficit.
And this might be the moment where Lexington has to use that aggression that we've seen out of their offense before and, try to find those big money plays. And you've got a guy that literally has the nickname Big Money in Gabriel Manning, so why not go for it?
He's had both completions tonight. Slider looking to the air. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down. 5-yard loss, but, I mean, the yards don't really matter if you don't know what year it is. Evan Miller with the sack on that one.
Yeah, looking like Robin Williams when he was bearded over in Jumanji trying to ask the police officer, what year is it? and he just found Evan Miller. Thought he had enough time to throw that football, but Evan Miller says, hey, I want to get myself my first sack of the season. Get down to the ground.
Undeterred, back to the air, slider, one-handed grab into traffic. Alex West, man, have a day, sir. That's a first down there for the Miners.
Man, not only is that a one-handed catch, that's a one-handed catch in double coverage, and you'll see it real quick. My goodness, it looked like Jackson was going to get the interception, but West says to himself, you know what? I got to carry the load because they're blanketing Gabriel Manning. I got to get ourselves a first down, get this offense moving.
Back to the ground game, James with the carry, another big hit, this time by Jackson.
Ooh.
And
that's
Deion James is not getting up right now. That is awful news for the Miners offense, considering Phoenix Jones is inactive tonight. James was going to have to carry the brunt of the rushing attack here.
Now the biggest question moving forward, Eric, is are we going to see more passing because of just the lack of strength in that running back core now with Deion out for a bit?
We'll have to see as Ronnie Jenkins checks in. 2nd and 6. Pressure from the backside, but Slider able to get rid of it and gets it to Money Manning. He's going to have a first down.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame Lexington if they just wanted to go pass for the rest of the game or until Deion James gets back if he can, because you've got two ultra reliable receivers out there. Gabriel Manning having another all-star campaign. Alex West almost with that too. I wouldn't be too surprised if both these guys at the end of the season make the all-star team.
Slider throws. This time he throws a pick. Going back the other way is Mexico City. Good spin move there. And it's going to be a first down near Lexington territory. But, man, what a pick there by Liam Ryan to come away with it.
Yeah, and you'll see on the replay here, Eric, that it was just Manning getting bumped in coverage, more or less. Max Jackson had a great bump on Manning, which gave Liam Ryan the opportunity to just look for the ball instead of the man, and had a perfect placement of the ball. And great interception, and that's what Lexington can afford if they're going to start being a little bit more pass happy.
Going to the ground to start things off. And Bentley is able to get 4 yards out of the deal to set up 2nd and 6 into Lexington territory.
You know, I was talking with Eddie Gage earlier this week on the Streets Are Talking. I was saying that early on this season, Ray Bentley looked like an absolute machine out there, and he's quieted down a little bit since. And if Mexico City is going to cruise into this game, I would be not surprised if Ray Bentley gets more carries and he tries to bump those numbers up again.
Keeping it on the ground, Van Dam busting it to the outside. He's trying to get a burst of speed and set it to another gear, but there's only so much that you can do as a fullback of his caliber. Either way, great run there and a first down.
We've seen this on the Morrison run earlier, where it looked like it was just a whole pursuit team trying to stop the run, but a whole wide open gate opened up for the runner. This time, a much slower but more powerful Buford Van Dam still gets the job done. And again, Mexico City's cruising on this drive.
Just outside the 30-yard line, back to Bentley. 3 Lexington defenders in the area near the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get nothing out of the deal, setting up 2nd down.
Now, I'll give Lexington credit on, this first half here. They have done really well on these stretch runs and trying to stop the runner there. It's been the inside that's been hurting them right now.
Type to throw. Good pocket, has plenty of time. He's going to throw it over the middle to the end zone, and he's got Bill Henry for a touchdown.
Man, that's another tough throw that Jordan Sipe makes it look absolutely easy with. And again, going back to the replay, looking at where Bill Henry was in double coverage, has one of the best safeties in the league on him as well. That's a tough throw to make, and that's the confidence of Jordan Sipe coming into play. And Bill Henry, this is the city where hashtag throw it to the tight end was created, and they threw it to him, and it got the touchdown. Mexico City, man, they have been cruising in this game.
Extra point by Blackwater, up and good. So the third interception on the season for Liam Ryan sets up his offense to score 7 points and take a 17-point advantage over the Miners here at home. And Ben, you can see the Lexington offense is struggling to just find any sort of answers right now.
Yeah, and at this current moment, they're at 59 yards of offense. Mexico City flirting with 200. That's a dangerous concoction for a disaster game at home.
Manning running it out of his own end zone, trying to make anything happen as he makes it out to the 21-yard line. You see the yardage numbers there, and it has been heavily in favor of Mexico City. And not to beat a dead horse, we talked about it several times now, but Mexico City is just on another level tonight, and it screams danger for these Miners at home.
Yeah, they're looking to reclaim that South Division crown. Albuquerque currently holds it, but they want to get some of theirs.
Manning able to catch a dangerous ball there thrown by Slider, but it's going to be a first down for Lexington as they move the sticks.
And this might be the only solution that Lexington really can go with until Dion James can get back, or if they can find some other way to run that football, because with that injury, it's kind of eliminated one aspect of the offense for Lexington, and now they need to get themselves moving down the field. Can it be through the pass game?
Slider again throwing a dangerous pass and almost threw another interception, this time to Itera. It's going to bring up second down with 6:04 to go here in the first half.
Mexico City has just so many different guys that throughout their careers have been just dangerous guys. And you look at guys like Itera, 67 interceptions, Jeffrey Daggs, 91, Max Jackson, 107. You don't want to throw their way.
Lexington may be forced to go that way as Slider has a good clean pocket this time, trying to thread a needle again. This time he was looking for West, and it's going to bring up third down.
That maybe was one of those plays where they themselves were looking for some type of pass interference potentially, because that was, pretty tight on with another safety. It was either Jackson or Daggs with West, but it couldn't pan out.
These big play opportunities might be all that Lexington has to offer here on offense. As Slider, again, with a good clean pocket, finds the big play there and moves the sticks with ease, this time to Alex Jackson, deep into Mexico City territory.
Yeah, and Jackson, not the first guy you think of when heading into that Lexington offense. He's only has 6 receptions coming into this game, roughly around 10 yards per catch, easily the biggest play of the season for him. So if they can spread out that offense, get a lot of guys involved, it's going to get Mexico City guessing on where Slider's going to throw that.
Good route there by Jackson. Had a step on his Jackson counterpart on the other end there, Max Jackson. Setting up shot from the 25 of Mexico City. Slider looking end zone, denied. A couple different defenders in the area looking for Money Manning.
Almost seeing the stark differences between Kenny Slider and Jordan Sipe here tonight. That throw, if Jordan Sipe would have thrown it, it seemed like he would have completed it. But Kenny Slider, it's a little bit of a different story. That one was tight coverage, and it was almost a catch, but it didn't end up being one.
Sipe 6 seasons under his belt here in the league. Kenny Slider only his second here. As he'll throw a little bit of a lofter into coverage. Again, incomplete, bringing up third down. And
that one, again, really tight coverage, ticky-tacky. Could have thrown the yellow hanky for that one, but they're going to keep it in the pocket this time, and Lexington's going to have to, earn and fight for that first down here.
Slider sitting at 6 of 13, 97 yards and a pick. Third down. Slider looking end zone, catches made and drags defenders into the end zone. Touchdown, Alexander West.
Man, did they ever need that? The Miners have been, struggling all game so far to move those chains. They did so with some explosive plays, and what better way to finish off that drive than with an explosive play to one of the most explosive players this season, and Alex West, easily having a season to remember in his career. And like I said, he's got the numbers to be an all-star, and he's got those all-star hands. So I think there could be some more balls his way coming just in this game.
Extra point up and good to make this a 10-point ball game. A much-needed 7-play, 78-yard drive for a score for Lexington. as they are able to narrow the gap with 5:17 to go here in the first half.
And now the goal for Lexington has to be to stop Mexico City from easily cruising down the field.
Short kickoff, fielded at about 10. And Dumas is able to bring it up to about the 35-yard line. Folks, rooms are going fast for the 2025 SFL convention. It is kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 13th. If you want to go, you need to book your stay now. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Great response by the Miners offense to get it within 10. Will their defense get a stop here? Delayed handoff goes to Bentley. Good start there for the Miners defense, only allowing maybe a half a yard. Collins with the stop.
Yeah, and I'll give another credit to Lexington. They have made Ray Bentley struggle for every yard gained so far. 5 carries, 7 yards unofficially right now for Ray Bentley, whereas others have feasted well. They have shut down the Hall of Famer.
Sipe goes back to the air. Going to throw it to Terrazas, and a tough catch there made by Noe, but he's able to get the first down.
Yeah, they shifted Noe over to the same side. The blitzer was going to pursue Jordan Sipe, so that left an open hole, and that almost seemed like an easy decision for Sipe to sling that rock before J-Rock could get to him.
From about the midfield stripe, first down. Back to the ground, Bentley trying to find any sort of room. And you said it, Brett. I mean, Lexington doing a nice job so far limiting this rushing attack here for Mexico City. It's just the passing attack on the back end that's killing them.
Well, it's more so just shutting down Ray Bentley. I mean, Jacob Morrison and Buford Van Dam is still having their way. And Mexico City's pass game has been, nothing close to perfection.
Sipe throwing into coverage, and another penalty marker. 3 defenders in the area on Bill Henry, and they're going to get tagged with a DPI.
And is it going to be the same guy as before? No, it's not going to be Travis Arthur. It's going to be Marco Swift this time. It's going to be with the infraction. And again, it's one of those ticky-tack. This one a little bit more clear-cut. It was more of an impending the route and giving Henry no chance. But again, another pass interference, trying to cover Bill Henry. He's going to be a nightmare, especially in this second half moving forward for Lexington's defense.
21-yard penalty, fresh set of downs here for Mexico City as they line up just outside of the 28-yard line of the Miners. Bentley delayed handoff again. This time gets 3, setting up second down.
Yeah, and I think Mexico City is content with just keeping the ball, shedding this clock down, making sure that they get a score out of this. Is definitely within Chaz Blackwater's range already, even if they get stopped here. So they're definitely going to get some points unless they turn the ball over.
Lining up Terrazas on the line. He goes in motion, same side as Henry now. Sipe quick fires 1-2 Henry, and it's going to be a first down for Mexico City.
And Henry already making a huge impact in this second quarter for the Aztec offense. And it's more so just the misdirection, not having Henry do too much. It's about everyone else moving around him and making sure that, he kind of hides in the shadow before he gets open for a great catch and another first down.
A lot of eye candy on that play there. Tough for the Lexington defenders as Bentley breaks it free, and he might get the pylon. He does. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Mexico City.
It was only a matter of time before Bentley got himself a score. He has been stymied all half from this Lexington defense. And it just seemed like with everyone else around him, working so hard, fighting so much for this yardage, he was going to get his soon enough. And it just took about 18 minutes into this game for him to finally break open, finally get another touchdown. And Mexico City has broken this game open again.
Another low snap, but gets it down, up and through, back to a 17-point game, and it's quickly becoming apparent that if Lexington is going to stay into this ball game, it's going to have to become a shootout.
Yeah, at this point, it'll need to be because, most teams haven't even scored 24 points this week. Whereas, some teams like Vancouver, they struggled to get 24, and Mexico City did it all in one half.
Manning returns it out to the 24-yard line. 2:39 to go here. Both teams with all 3 timeouts as we approach the end of the first half. Miners are going to have to look for something to get themselves going. The big play certainly did themselves well on the last drive. Couple connections of 10-plus yards. Big catch into the end zone to get points on the board. And now they'll go back to the run game. Still without Deion James as Levens gets the carry for about 3.
Yeah, interesting that they're going with the run first. Maybe they just want to get themselves to the 2-minute warning, get themselves maybe in a 2-minute drill offense. But you've got to think about it in this certain way, Eric. You've got to really focus in on getting a score back as quickly as possible, especially down 17.
Deion James injured just a quarter ago. Haven't gotten an update yet as to his status for the rest of the game. As Slider throws a low ball there, and it's going to be incomplete, bringing up 3rd down with 2:04 to go.
Yeah, big 3rd down for Lexington because not only will this give them possession for the 2-minute warning, but if you give Mexico City one more chance to break this lead open at any point, then we almost want to close this book shut by halftime.
Slider on 3rd down. Fires one near sideline, jarred loose on the hit. Great closing speed by Gerard Brody to poke that one free, and it's going to be a 4th down. Mexico City will get a crack at the football on the other end of the 2-minute warning. Mexico City in firm control here in Kentucky on top over the Miners. Eric Vincent alongside Brett Solberg, 24-7 at the score right now in favor of the Aztecs. 1:59 to go. And Dumas able to bring it up to the 39-yard line. Mexico City, all 3 timeouts. They will get the second half kickoff as well. So opportunity to double dip in a situation where, I mean, if they do, it might just be game over at that point.
Yeah, this is the drive will be one to consider. If you're Ramos Lynn, if you're offensive coordinator Mike Daggs, this might be the time where you just go with the aggressiveness, hit that baby in overdrive, get yourself to 30 points in the first half, and then you're not even looking back once you get to the second half.
Draw play goes to Bentley. A couple of yards here. And he'll run the clock as Roberto gets the stop.
They'll start hitting their timeouts once they cross midfield. They might see something if they can get to that area. The first down marker is pretty close to midfield as it is.
Mexico City, the opportunity to stay patient here as they keep it on the ground with Bentley. And gets it close to the line to gain. Still not wanting to use those timeouts yet.
They do hustle back to the line.
Yep, quick in and out of the huddle, 3rd and 2. Approaching the 1-minute mark in the first half. Lexington showing blitz. On the ground again, Morrison gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage again by Roberto. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 1.
Yeah, first 3rd down stop for Lexington in what feels like a long while. Mexico City has done really well just to move those chains, and maybe Lexington can get something done with about 10 ticks left, but I would suggest that Mexico City just wait until the play clock hits 1. Oh, they're punting it now.
Cale Barrett Jr. taking the snap, getting the ball away. Manning wants nothing to do with that one as it trickles into the end zone for a touchback. 22 seconds left on the clock, and both teams still with all 3 timeouts.
Did you see the back of Cale Barrett Jr.'s jersey? It said "Punt God," and I don't know if that was a godly punt if it goes to the end zone, my friend.
Certainly not on that situation.
I would rip that off and put, try again later.
Pitch for the Miners, and Levens with the carry on that one. Still no Deion James, 3-yard carry, and it looks like that is going to bring us to the half.
Might get one more play off, but they are not hustling to the line.
Just barely gets it off. Slider gonna throw, far sideline, catch is made by Manning as he cuts across the 40-yard line. Clock does hit triple zeros, and we are at the half. Mexico City with a 24-7 lead over the hometown Miners. The Aztecs going to get the football to start the second half. And man, oh man, that first half was all Mexico City from the get-go. Brett, give me your thoughts on the first half stats and highlights as we roll them now.
I mean, Eric, we could probably get this down to pretty simple stats. Mexico City, 270 yards of offense. We're not talking about a whole game. We're talking about one half of football from a team that, has been historically known as a team that doesn't get many yards, but gets a lot of points as a result. But this season has been a different story. Top 10 in yards per game, and you're seeing that top 10 team, the 6th ranked yardage offense, into action, and it doesn't seem like Lexington has an answer for it quite yet. It's been a perfect mix of run and pass throughout this entire game. Sipe has been near perfection in this game so far. 9 of 10 for 141 and a half.
We're going to step aside, take a quick halftime break, brought to you by Breaks GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. Morrison with the return, gonna get a good one out to the 38-yard line, and more bad news here for the Lexington offense. Deion James tearing his ACL in the first quarter of play. He will not be back for the rest of the evening tonight.
I don't know. If I know anything about Phil Collins, he's going to say to his running back, put some dirt on it. You'll be fine. You run faster than our other running backs with one leg. Get back out there.
That does sound accurate.
Well, maybe minus the whole terrible Western accent.
That's all right. It all blends together before too long. Bentley with the pitch play. Good opportunity there by the defense. Philadelphia Collins getting in there, making the TFL. Good start there for the Miners.
And if you really want a good start from Lexington, they need to stop the drive immediately from this Mexico City offense, because if you can stop them early, get yourself a chance to get that football back, try to climb back into this lead, this deficit.
Sight throwing it into double coverage, somehow finds Terrazas, and that's exactly what you don't want if you're the Lexington Miners defense.
And it just keeps going back to Jordan Sipe, just effortlessly throwing these tough passes into blanketing coverage, double coverage, triple coverage, still finds his man nonetheless. It feels like there's a rabbit's foot in the pocket of Jordan Sipe tonight.
His stats will certainly say that. 10 of 11, 169 yards and a touchdown, as Morrison trying to find any sort of room there, and he'll break it out to the inside for a gain of 4.
Yeah, and Lexington's trying their best to turn this Mexico offense into something one-dimensional, but one break open of a play has kind of kiboshed that idea, and a pass game has been immaculate.
Bentley back into the game. Sight throws, and it's tipped. Going to be incomplete. Good play there by David Ware, the inside linebacker, forcing a third down.
I think that was the first time we've seen a Lexington player tip the football. And it was David Ware, that linebacker, kind of just creeping around, and he's been heavily involved in trying to stuff that run game. Good to see him in the pass game, too.
Blitz coming. Sipe sets his feet, fires, and once again completes it somehow, some way. Noe Terrazas, he's a magician.
You're talking about, you know, in the same levels of a David Copperfield or Chris Angel. Yes, those hokey Vegas magicians. We're seeing the same action here all the way in Kentucky. It feels effortless. And again, I feel like I'm a broken record, but it definitely has been an effortless night for Jordan Sipe.
2 incompletions all night. Terrazas already close to the century mark. Bentley avoids the first defender, met by a couple more, and he's going to get maybe a yard. It's been tough sledding for Bentley, other than that long touchdown run that he had of 10-plus yards.
Yeah, but because of that, the other running backs have been reaping the benefits, more specifically Jacob Morrison and Buford Van Dam. Not a lot of carries, but both of them well over 6 yards a carry.
2nd and 9 now. Sight back to the air. Good pocket again. Throws almost a clutch one-handed grab there. And it's going to end up being a 3rd and 9.
That's absolutely a frustration hit from the safeties, because they don't want Mexico City to score with one of those highlight plays where Cam's going to talk about it on This Week in the SFL, and Mike St. Green, you know, gives them, you know, one of those players a spectacular moment.
Another 3rd down. Sight back to the air, throws, and it's tipped again. Great job there, locating the football by Jay Rock as he was falling backwards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and a field goal attempt.
And now we're finally starting to see some fight back from this Lexington defense, where it's felt like Sipe has had their way with them throughout this game. Now the corners are starting to fight back. They are jumping, they are leaping, they are diving for every tip ball they can.
Chaz Blackwater able to nail the field goal attempt there. So used to saying extra points with how successful the Aztecs offense has been tonight. But man, special teams, they haven't been getting the snap quite right tonight, but certainly hadn't affected the kicking game at all.
And we've seen that a lot in Lexington this season, where it just feels like, I don't know if there's, you know, a certain wind fan that's blowing their way sometimes, but it's just not a great snap. But, you know, Mexico City's placeholders doing pretty well in those tough conditions.
Manning with the return straight up the middle. Tackle made by Jackson on special teams. He'll bring it out to the 21-yard line. The Miners able to hold it to a 3-possession lead, down by 20, but they're going to have to make some moves quick.
Yeah, and now with officially Dion James done for the game with a torn ACL. We've got the magic of the SFL doctors able to bring him back next week, but not, immediately. So it looks like this will be a pure passing game moving forward for Lexington.
Oh, and I think that they hop back onto it. Yeah, Swift was able to hop back onto it after a gain of 2.
Yeah, and that's one more example as to why I think the run game is pretty much over for the game for Lexington, because I don't know how much more you can trust on your reserve running backs now that they've, fumbled that football. They did get 2 yards out of it, but it's definitely not an ideal situation.
Great job by the rookie guard, Jasmine Swift, able to cover up that fumble as Manning gets the crossing pass there for a gain of about 3, bringing up a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, they're trying to change the level of eye field for the Mexico City defenders so that they can sling one deep. I wouldn't be too surprised if this one's a deep ball for 3rd down.
Slider to the air on 3rd down, throws a low ball, and a good pass there. Locates his receiver, Alexander West, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Miners.
Yeah, might be a throw that only West could get to, but he still had to reach down into the dumps, under the cupboards where all the, loose change that you can find will be, and sometimes that'll get you a 1st down.
First down, slider, short drop, able to find a receiver somehow in all that mess, and I guess it's not surprising that you find yourself a silver dollar, Money Manning, underneath that cupboard.
Yeah, and right now, like I've been talking about how Lexington maybe needs to spread around that offense, but sometimes it's good to go with your reliable options. Both West and Manning have given you first downs. I wouldn't be too shocked if they continue moving their side. Keep going, keep feeding them back and forth, alternate those targets.
Promising drive so far for the Miners. Slider looking to keep it up. Throws far sideline, catch made, 7 yards. That'll keep things going.
Yeah, it's a promising drive not only for, you know, the Lexington team as a whole, but it's going to give more confidence to Slider to get these consecutive completions under his belt, because it was a little bit of a struggle, especially in that second quarter, to get things going. If you get those completions consecutively, then you get that confidence back.
West with the catch for 7. 2nd and 3 now as Manning goes in motion. Trying not to abandon the run game, but maybe they need to, as they've been blitzing safeties all night. Max Jackson able to lay a hit on Levens, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Jackson has been all over the blitzes this season, not just in this game alone, but this season. And it comes to form with his 10 TFLs this season.
Slider, 3rd and 2, throws wide open man inside the 30-yard line. Catch made by West again, and the Miners are cooking now.
Yeah, and that one was a result of Gerard Brody thinking that West was going to go a little bit deeper before Slider threw the rock, and you can see him continue to run down the field thinking that West was just going to go straight to the end zone, but it left an open pocket for West to kind of stay in so you can get that catch.
It's 27. Slider with time, throws into double coverage. This time the hit jarred the football loose as Daggs was able to rip that one clean.
And that was a yanking hit from Jeffrey Daggs that kind of jarred that ball loose, and almost a kind of a force meets anti-force. I never took physics class, so I don't know what the proper words are for that one, but he yanked it back and the ball was still moving forward. I don't know what the term is for that.
I am just a humble football broadcaster. I have no idea what you speak of.
I didn't graduate high school. No, I'm kidding.
2nd and 10, Slider, quick drop back, able to find a completion to Manning, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. Seems they like to go to that play on 2nd down there to get some necessary yardage there, Brett.
Yeah, we saw a lot in the first quarter, a short pass that gets them forward progress, but they can't afford to do that because it chews up a lot of clock.
That it does. 3rd and 4 now. Blitz coming. Slider throws.
Ooh.
Went back to that same play there. The Dags was able to rip it free, but Manning able to secure the catch. It's now 1st and goal for the Miners.
Kind of figured out the difference just in, you know, placement of where you need to be with that football, because he had his arms out on that first try. The second try, he kept it close in his pocket. He kept it close in the chest so that when Daggs tried to yank him, he still had the ball in his hand. So that's great adjustment from Gabriel Manning to, you know, just kind of shift things and make it a little bit favorable.
Manning close to 100 yards on the day. Slider, 1st and goal, pressure coming. He's going to throw one-on-one coverage and incomplete, looking for West.
And that was a good look, too.
Oh, and West is injured on the back end, too.
You are kidding me.
That goes to worst here, Brett.
If I'm Marco or Jaden Swift, I'd be screaming at Mexico City, because not only was that a little bit of late coverage from Gerard Brody, that was a late yanking hit as well. So you could almost see that as a little bit of malicious intent with that, if you're looking at it with, you know, with rage-colored sunglasses.
So with West getting 10-2 on the sideline, rest of the offense lining up for a 2nd and goal. Handoff. Open spaces, but Levens just doesn't have the speed. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And now we've got Evan Miller down on the ground.
Man, Wade Phillips said it right in the chat. This is slowly becoming the hospital bowl. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the third injury of this game, and all of them have been vital parts of the game. Miller had the sack in the first quarter for Mexico City, so man, oh man, we're talking about vital pieces getting hurt here.
Suddenly we're going to have instant communication here with both sidelines, both medical staffs, to figure out who's coming back in and who's not. Slider now, retreating, shuffling, throws back in the end zone, but way too deep there for Manning. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of the chat saying, blaming the Lexington turf, and potentially in this front, but sometimes it just comes to bad luck as well, along with that pass there, because Manning was wide open, just a little bit too much mustard, and now Lexington's going to have to settle for 3.
Again, with both kickers inactive tonight, they're going to send out Cundiff for the 21-yard attempt.
Cundiff.
Good snap suspiciously for the Miners on the special teams play there, but they were able to knock that one through. 14 plays, 76 yards as they get a little bit closer once again, making it a 17-point game.
And sometimes just getting points on the board helps carry momentum. They got to keep that momentum going by stopping the next Mexico City drive. None of this 3-point stuff. Limit them to 3. No, limit them to 0.
Another short kick, another opportunity for return here for Morrison. And he's going to bring it out. The yard pass where he brought it out before. He brings that to the 39-yard line. So again, good starting field position here for the Aztecs. But with time quickly becoming a factor here, Brett, Lexington is going to have to get a bunch of stops and score touchdowns, not field goals.
And here's what we're going to see from Mexico City. Run, 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 run. And I think that's what we're going to see throughout the, at least this drive. And especially not only to get Ray Bentley going, but to chew that clock. They love to chew the clock.
So you're saying they should run the ball?
No, they should pass.
Oh, okay. Completely misunderstood that message. First down. 3 wide for Mexico City, and they will run to Bentley for a gain of 3.
Hey, you got the
I couldn't resist,
right
man.
too.
I'm sorry.
You even got the cadence right, so that's totally perfect. What's the next play gonna be, Eric?
Run.
There you go.
High formation. Pitch play. Jacob Morrison bringing defenders as he goes. And, man, that was a tough run there for Jacob Morrison, able to get the first down.
Mexico City's lone focus and lone goal in this drive, first downs, chew that clock. They've got themselves a comfortable lead. Do not give the ball back to Lexington unless you have to.
We'll see Lodel at right tackle there, doing a good job there, blocking up front. Single back, 3 wide. Lexington sending the blitz. Sipe going to pass, throws, and he connects. Finds himself Terrazas again, and would you really expect anything less? It's either Bill Henry or Noe Terrazas.
Yeah, it's been those two, and why veer from the usual? What veer from what works at this point? Terrazas catching 75% of his targets. Bill Henry catching 80% of his targets. You go to the guys that you can trust. Terrazas already over the century mark. Feels like easy goings for Terrazas through this game.
Last week had himself a day as well, over 140 yards, and he's looking to match that total with another catch here as he gets another first down. Mexico City is just cruising offensively tonight.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they go through the run or they go through the pass. Everything seems to be working for Mexico City, now creeping towards 360 yards of total offense through this game. They have been, acting like studs throughout this game.
Keeping it on the ground this time. Bentley Hard fought running here from all of these running backs, and it really doesn't help at all for Lexington. I mean, they're doing a good job against this rushing attack, I'd say, making initial contact near the line of scrimmage. Just these running backs are so big and run so hard. And now Lexington, they're not sure about the spot of the football. They're going to throw that red handkerchief.
Yeah, very much a challenge for pride, but also they might see something that we didn't at the end of this, and we're going to take a retroactive look brought to you by Retroid here.
Get your console to play SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com.
Hey, we just did a joint read here. I don't think
Wow.
I don't think any broadcast duo ever did a joint ad read this season, so we got one up on everyone else.
See that, Tyler Fogg? Top place. And it looks like they did see something we didn't necessarily see there in real time. Depends on where they spot the football, but it's going to be a successful challenge nonetheless for the Miners. They're going to spot them, call it about a razor blade's length from the first down marker.
Yeah, I would say so, and maybe a little bit more, maybe the length of, one strand of your hair, Eric. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm a short and sweet kind of guy.
Maybe my strand of hair then.
Ah, there we go. And Sipe got to take off and run, gets the first down with ease, setting up a 1st and goal. Tried to run that play a little bit earlier in a goal-to-go situation, and man, did Sipe pay for it, but I think he was a little surprised to have some open grass on that one.
I will tell you, ever since becoming a coach in this league, my single most favorite play to run is the quarterback draw.
Certainly nice for the eyes as well. Van Dam already with 1 rushing touchdown, trying to add another, but gets stopped near the line of scrimmage, bringing up a 2nd goal, under 1 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
And we'll probably see more runs up the gut, maybe 1 stretch run here and there just to finish the job. But we've seen Van Dam get to the end zone through his brute force alone. They might hand it off to him again.
They go that way again. Van Dam, though, struggling to get out of the backfield. We're able to clean up everything, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and goal.
This might be the first time that I've ever seen a player send his own teammate to the shadow realm, because did you see Van Dam just completely crush Greg Forrest there?
I did. Van Dam again. Van Dam denied once again. Roberto this time on the stop, bringing up a 4th and goal as we hit the end of 3, moving into the 4th quarter of play. Mexico City in firm control of this ball game. Lexington looking to hold on as they are down 27-10 at the end of 3. As we get a look from the medical staff here, so it looks like Alexander West going to be out for the rest of the game, and Evan Miller looking to be probable, so we'll see if he is able to sneak back in there on the defensive line there. Eric Vincent alongside Brett Solberg in the broadcast booth, Ron Haynes, Justin Reside in the stats truck, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. Blackwater able to nail the field goal, and he makes it a 20-point advantage now, as it's now 30-10. You're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, we'll feature the final week of the SFLM regular season on Wednesday, the UFL Thursday and Friday, and SFL Week 12 kicking off on Saturday. It's another week of nonstop action right here on the Virtual Football Network. Manning not wanting to flirt with that one, takes a knee in the back of the end zone, and it's going to bring out to the 20-yard line, down by 20 points. And, man, I mean, it feels like we've been saying it all game long. The Miners' offense really hasn't been playing badly. It's just that Mexico City has been playing out of their minds.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're seeing Mexico City playing absolutely nuts, and Lexington's trying to keep up, but they just can't, and especially if they're down, they're top running backs and one of their top receivers, it makes it even a bigger uphill battle.
Certainly forces them into a one-dimensional game plan. Kenny Slider shouldering the weight of that, but does a good job right there, completing the pass over the middle for a 1st down.
And maybe Lexington has to go back to, seasons past, maybe think 2 seasons ago, where they were just a 2-target team and they only trusted in Gabriel Manning and DJ Bandit. This might be the route that they have to go to move down the field. Good luck to DJ Bandit to start off the drive.
Lexington now after the Bandit catch. $16 yards right away. Slider looking to add more and does. This time finds Money Manning for another first down.
And again, going back to the alternating targets here and there, but this time with West out because, his stomach muscles are a little bit hurty right now. They need to go to DJ Bandit, next guy up. So they got to go Manning, Bandit, Manning, Bandit. This might be the way they need to go.
2 plays already into Mexico City territory. Split backfield, 2 wide. Slider throwing over the middle and incomplete. He definitely had a man there, but the hit on the back end jarred the football loose, and Dags wants to hear from the crowd.
Yeah, we talked about, and I see Damon talking about the best running back duos, but let's talk about the best safety duos in the league. And you got to say, tops on that list, Jeffrey Dags and Max Jackson.
Without a doubt. I don't know of any team in this league that has 2 Hall of Fame safeties on the back end. Very confident with their secondary at that position. A Slider a little too tall for his intended receiver, Manning, as he gets up off the turf, thankfully. We've seen far too many injuries tonight.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't want Gabriel Manning out too, because then for sure the game is over. If you've got no running backs and your 2 top receivers are out, your offense is running on fumes.
Well, talk about one-dimensional, that'd be maybe half-dimensional at that point. Bandit the motion man. Lining out wide. Middle man in that trips formation. Gonna go opposite end. Flag is on the play. And we might get pass interference again. And we will. Referee's a little bit happy to pull that yellow hanky out of their pocket for pass interference tonight.
Yeah, and Dags is going to get hit with it, and I think it's because just of the early bump on Jackson too, because that was called earlier than usually expected on DPI calls. So I don't blame them for making that call too, because Jeffrey Dags was all over him like peanut butter is to jelly.
Now Lexington, the beneficiary of one of these pass interference calls. And they're setting up shop just outside of the red zone. 21-yard penalty there. Glider going to throw ends a one-handed grab, and that's why he's Money Manning. Touchdown.
My goodness, yeah, that's kind of what you come in to expect and see if you're a Lexington Miner fan. You expect to see Gabriel Manning expertly, effortlessly get a one-handed catch in double coverage and try to claw this team back into, competition with the Mexico City squad that has just been dominating you all throughout this game. This now becomes a little bit of a contest, but now Lexington needs to stop defensively.
They making me go to another octave with that nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23.
Juan said if Eddie Gage and Josh Rowe were to join forces in the secondary, he's still taking Jeffrey Dags and Max Jackson. That's got to be the confidence, man.
Yeah, like I said, can't be too overly confident with a pair like that as Morrison takes the return out to the 35-yard line. We want the SFL to reach more people. Do you? Best way to do that, go ahead and smash that like button. Did you smash that like button, Brett?
Of course I have.
Good. See, you're already ahead of the game. Leave a comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. You can help us reach all the people who need more football in their lives. We appreciate your support of the Virtual Football Network.
And don't forget to donate $5 and tell Cam to give that money to me.
That's true. We haven't gotten any super chats tonight. Chat, come on, help us out a little bit.
Exactly.
Another good return here for the Aztecs. Setting up shop at the 35. Bentley with a short carry, bringing up 2nd and 7. And again, we touched on it. Lexington's not playing badly. It's just that Mexico City just found another gear very early on, and they haven't looked back.
It was an impressive second quarter for Lexington that's kind of clawed them back offensively, but Mexico City's just delivering just like that pass to Jason Bartley for a first down.
I mean, seemingly there is nothing that this Miners secondary can really do because Jordan Sipe has been throwing dimes like this all night long, and the secondary is in great position to defend it.
78% passing from Jordan Sipe. Some people strive to get 7% passing, let alone 78.
18 completions, over 225 yards, an absolute clinic for Jordan Sipe tonight as Bentley is able to get 7 on the run.
Now, me personally, I'm a connoisseur of quarterbacks throwing 20 or more times, but sometimes if you have a game like Jordan Sipe has been having, I'd be content with just the 18 and end it there.
Looking like he's trying to take your advice as Van Dam is able to get the carry. See, there we go. Our boy Damon Simeon in the chat. $10 super chat from him. Cam, send this to the boys in the booth.
$5 payday for both of us. High five.
Hey, all right, up top. We appreciate that, Damon. 3rd and inches now, just outside of 7 to go. Aztecs with another fresh set of downs off of the fullback run. And man, oh man, it started. Oh, there we go. Ron Haynes with the $5 super chat as well. Stats rule. Well, Ron, you rule. We appreciate you in the stats truck tonight, brother.
You know, Ron Haynes doing his 5th game of the week. He is an absolute stud. I think like his 432nd game this season, too.
Absolute animal. Bentley still staying on the ground, running tough as he has all night long, getting 9 out of that one, and just striking away at the hopes of the Lexington Miners to get back in this ballgame.
And Bentley has fought for every single yard that he's been trying to get. Unofficially, 67 on our board. They're giving him 62 and a touchdown, but he has fought for every single inch to get there.
Second and 1, fullback dive. Good tackle there. But it's still going to be another first down.
Another BJ Askew signing. I think that's his 3rd carry of the game. They're getting all their running backs heavily involved, and that's what Mexico City likes.
A lot of weapons, even if they're not stars, and that's the type of team that they run south of the border there. Bit of an awkward throw, but Terrazas, go figure, still able to locate the football for a gain of 1.
It almost looked like an intended swing pass to Bentley that just went awry and over to Terrazas. But hey, it still ended up getting a yard.
And more importantly, it keeps the clock going as well with the catch. Sight back to the air, throws into triple coverage, incomplete. We haven't seen too many of those tonight. Secondary just been bamboozled dealing with Jordan Sipe tonight.
Yeah, and Cameron Shaw has been burnt a couple times, and he finally gets at least his tip of the fingers on the football to lead that ball astray.
Big 3rd down here for the Miners. Sipe to the air, blitz coming from his backside, trying to get out of it. He's going to go down. Lexington's defense steps up in a big way, and a big hit there by big number 96.
Berto DeMora with another key sack this season. That brings him up, if I'm not mistaken, to 6 sacks this season. He's definitely, one of the top 10 linemen this season. That makes it a little bit tougher 40-yard field goal off the right hash for Chaz Blackwater.
And the kick is going to bend down the middle to make it a 16-point game. Still a 2-possession ball game, still time on the clock. Lexington is going to have to find that extra gear, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised with Cale Barrett Jr.'s jersey saying punt god that Blackwater's jersey doesn't say kick god on it to make it, kind of fair. Because if you're going to have a special teams, you got to have, somewhat matching nicknames in that case.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue as much, though. Punt god, I mean, that's great. Kick god,
Oh, I like the sound of it.
All right, fair enough.
Or maybe kick king.
Ah, there we go. Now we're talking. Aha.
Right.
See, this is why we keep you around. Man, they're going to bring that one out to the 20-yard line off of the touchback. 5:04 to work with here for the Miners. Down 16. It's certainly not the easiest two-possession game, but a two-possession game nonetheless.
I'm just sling it.
Slider going to do so. Quick throw there to Jackson, able to turn upfield, get first down yardage. Good start there for the Miners offense.
Yeah, need to keep that going, get those first downs, move those chains pretty quickly. Because if you want a shot in this game, boom, get yourself those deep targets.
Fairly quick in and out of the huddle. Slider surveying the defense under center, I formation. Back to the air. Blitz coming, throwing on the run. Somehow snagged amidst a whole bunch of defenders. Going no huddle here. Gabriel Manning up over 150. Actually, right at 150.
He's had to brunt the load in the second half.
Trying to go near his way again. He makes the catch. Slider over 300.
Yeah, I like this method. Go with the hurry up. You've got to use your time wisely.
Another quick fire throw. That'll freeze the clock there, and the Miners will reset with 4:14 to go.
But, you know, ideally, if you're going to go with the hurry up, you go with deeper passes. All of them have been short. I understand they've been working for you, but sometimes you got to sprinkle some deep with some short as well.
They could definitely help them out there, getting the incompletion and giving them the opportunity to reset. To the air, Slider. And once again finds Manning. Back to the no huddle into Mexico City territory.
Yeah, they just got to trust in this formation. Bunch right is really good.
Slider. Screen pass coming out of the backfield. Good block there, and Levin's able to get out of bounds with under 4 to go. 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and it's finally they find some good use for a running back since the Deion James injury that's taken him out, and maybe, you know, a screen pass every now and again to the running back will just help them get some extra yards.
Jenkins checks in now, 2nd and 3. Slider rolling out. Throws a sidearm pass. Jackson had it gift-wrapped, bowed. It had an edible arrangement, and he couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, maybe just a few too many chocolates before getting that catch. Maybe a Butterfinger or two, and that's what caused the drop of the ball. But man, you were right. That was hand gifted to him by, you know, a mail order bride.
He is the SFL After Dark now. 3rd and 3. 4 wide. Slider back to the air. Good clean pocket this time, but throws it into double coverage. He was looking for Manning. I get the decision, but maybe not where you wanted to go on that one.
And would you say 4 down territory at this point with 3:50 left?
Yeah, I would definitely say so, especially with your kicker being inactive tonight.
Oh, you know Kunda ain't hitting past 45.
4th and 3, 7-step drop.
Ooh.
Wide open along the far sideline there is Levins, and he's able to rumble forward for that and then some.
Mexico City was planning deep, and Lexington threw a counter of, hey, we'll go short. We'll go with the swing route. Boom, easy done. Easy as you do it. First down.
41 attempts for Slider tonight. 335, 2 tutties, and a pick. Starting off 1 and 3, now going 2 and 2. Slider. Attempt number 42 and incomplete. Throwing in triple coverage intended for Manning.
You know, and normally type attack would look at 42 attempts and would say, I do that in my sleep. But for Lexington, this is a game where you kind of have to force yourself to throw the football because you're out of options. You're down to, you know, a 0.75 dimensional offense right now.
Manning in motion. Aztecs with a man look on defense. Slider. Throws. Catch is made. First down yardage to DJ Bandit just outside of goal to go range. Under 3.5. Slider throws. Catch is made, and that's a touchdown.
We ain't so out of here quite yet here, because that was an expertly run hurry-up offense from Lexington, and they found the right pockets to hit, and they finish it off with, surprisingly enough, Alex Jackson into the end zone. And man, you talk about next man up. They needed to get Alex Jackson involved. Second touchdown of the season for him. This is going to be a 9-point game after the extra point.
I was about to ask, here's the question. Do you go for 2 here? And it looks like Lexington wants to go for 2.
This will bring it to 8.
Slider, gonna throw the screen, trying to find a block, and almost got there. Jenkins not able to get out of the backfield, so it's gonna remain a 9-point game. Both these, I mean, we talked about it, Brett. If Lexington wanted to stay in this game, they were gonna have to make it a shootout. They did. Now down by 10.
Oh,
Onside kick, and not a great one as Henry fields that one with ease. And still 33-23. 3:22 to go. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. Still an opportunity here for the Miners, but it's getting bleak.
yeah, they need to get a stop here. They need to make sure that, if anything, Mexico City doesn't get 10 or more yards on this drive, because Blackwater has the ability to hit it from around 45. So you want to make sure that Mexico City doesn't move too much further and they don't chew up a lot of clock. I would expect 3 straight runs off the hop.
They're going to have to stay within this range. Starting off at the 42, Van Dam bottled up near the line of scrimmage. That's a good start there. Collins has been all over the map tonight, Brett.
Yeah, and they need to replicate that 2 more times, force into a 4th and 10. They don't want to get, especially guys like Jacob Morrison or Ray Bentley, breaking open on any open gap. So they need to fill those immediately.
Mexico City doing a good job milking every bit of that play clock, along with the game clock. Sipe going to the air. Going to throw a crosser to Henry, and that's a puzzling decision, especially given he wasn't able to reel that one in. That's a free timeout for Lexington.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. I thought to myself, man, that's a free timeout. That's an incompletion, and Lexington was all ready for that. I would be expecting run and, you know, going on a pass on 2nd down. Very interesting spot. Now, this is definitely a passing down.
This would be huge for the Miners. Going with a little delayed handoff, and man, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, Ray Bentley just isn't human, man.
And not in this run especially. I thought he would have been stopped about 5 yards in. He sheds off a key tackle and then just drags the defender to get that 1st down and says, no, this football is ours.
Reverse psychology there for the Aztec offense, going pass on 2nd down, incompletion, freezes the clock, and then on 3rd down, obvious passing situation to extend the drive, they go with a run, and they get it.
Hey, sometimes us soothsayers are, you know, completely wrong.
And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. 10-point ball game, 33-23. Mexico City has the advantage. But man, Lexington is going to have to get some sort of magic here to get this victory. SFL on VFN continues. Eric Vincent here, Brett Solberg there, Ron Haynes and Justin reside in the stats truck. Mr. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. 2 minutes to go here in the 4th. Lexington down by 10. Sipe to the air on 1st down. Threads the needle, finds Henry, and now Lexington is going to start calling timeouts.
Yeah, and at this point, Eric, I'd be pretty shocked if Lexington still comes out with possession of the football if they allow another 1st down. 2 yards to go. This is definitely Buford Van Dam territory. I could see a handoff to him.
Not a single punt here in the 2nd half of play. Sipe rolling out, going with the option look, and Sipe keeps it, fumbles the football, and Lexington is able to cover it up.
This could be booth reviewed. I'm not entirely sure if he was fully down or not. That's definitely challengeable, but man, oh man, oh man. That's picture perfect breaking loose of the football. Lexington's got life here.
A hit to jar the football loose. Sipe was not down. Did not complete the slide. The Miners pounce on the football. They have life at the 14-yard line. Slider, not going to get it done on a play like that, and they're going to burn their second timeout.
And then you don't want to go with those short passes. I get that may be the only option very quickly, and Mexico City might be, trying to bring a little bit more heat to Slider so they can get him out of his hot streak. But man, you got to be choicey with your timeouts, and calling a timeout after a 3-yard catch, not sure.
Back to the air. Slider throws into coverage and incomplete. 3rd and 7 coming up. Brody on the back end there.
And we've seen that a couple times now in this game from Gerard Brody, where he's in the area. He could have had his hands on the football, could have gotten an interception, but it's just kind of, inches away. And that one was the most dangerous to go. Now, big 3rd down coming up. Lexington, they've done all right with these 3rd downs, 7-12.
Huge 3rd down here for Slider. Going to go with the screen pass, trying to get the block, and he does. Gets out of bounds. Now it's going to bring up a 4th and manageable. It freezes the clock, so they're able to reset here.
Yeah, don't mind that decision, especially if there's nothing really happening. But now it's a must make. You can't go with anything too conservative. You've got to look for something that's going to get you that 1st down, maybe another 15 yards or so.
4th and 3, ball game on the line. Slider going back to that same play. Doesn't get the block this time. Gerard Brody able to secure the victory for the Aztecs.
And that might be something where it might work if you had Deion James on the table, but I don't think that's something you throw on 4th down. Even if it's a short situation, you've got to look down the field, get yourself maybe a hitch route here and there, like a 5 to 10 yard hitch route. That's got to be something that might be a little bit more comfortable. But now Larry Love is out on the field, which means Mexico City's going to notch another dub in their column.
And this is going to be a huge win here for Mexico City, especially in that South Division. Lexington going to burn their final timeout with 1:32 remaining. I mean, with Bossier City and Houston both winning, Fort Worth winning as well. I mean, Mexico City needed to win this game just to keep pace, and they've got Albuquerque on the schedule in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and then more importantly than that, that keeps them 5th on the table, because if they would have lost this game, they probably would have been, jumped all the way down to potentially, 8 or 9 in the standings. And then you're talking to potentially, maybe not even having a home wild card game fighting at the end of the season, because Mexico City's got a tough end of season schedule as well as Lexington. But especially if Mexico, now that Mexico City's won this game, now they have momentum carrying forward against what feels like death's row coming up.
And it'll probably be a what-if game, I think, for the Miners, considering they lost West, they lost Deion James, they had some inactives tonight. It was certainly one of those games that you kind of look at it, especially how you performed with so many people out, and, maybe they could have come up with the victory if they were fully staffed.
That was a very, very impressive fight from Lexington too. If they could have gotten off out of the gate in the first quarter, I think this would be, even a tie game right now with the injuries included with that. But their first quarter was just so dreadful that they just couldn't climb back.
Blackwater looking to add a final field goal here on the night to make it a 13-point advantage. 14 seconds to go. Lexington with no more timeouts. Week 11 here in the SFL may be wrapping up today. Mike Dax and Gerald Smith will kick off Week 12 on Saturday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern with the Matt Wilson Kickoff Show. Games will start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern with Florida at Fort Worth. Other matchups include Denver-Charleston, Los Angeles-Houston, and Queen City, D.C. It is all right here on the VFN. You don't want to miss it. Better return here for Manning, and he'll bring it down to 9 seconds out to the 28-yard line.
A little bit of a shocker here. Chaz Blackwater, 5 for 5 on field goals, has made 4 of the field goals in the second half alone.
That is kind of wild. Although it makes sense considering Lexington was able to claw themselves back in this ball game in the second half. really evening things up. And you touched on it, Brett. I think if the Miners had found that gear early on, found a way to keep up with Mexico City a little bit earlier in the ball game, that this might have been a different story. But good fight nonetheless for these Miners. They're going to take the L. They will fall to 5-5. Mexico City, with the win tonight, they will move to 6-2 with the second toughest strength of schedule remaining for the rest of the season. Go ahead and give it to me, Brett. Final thoughts before we let you go.
It was just first half dominance from Mexico City that kind of cruised their way forward. If you only are allowing 7 points at halftime, you're already at 24, and you're just cruising things through. It kind of makes things easier for you to kind of cruise into the rest of this game. Lexington had a valiant fight, but those injuries came up, hurting them just too much for them, despite Kenny Slider doing as much as he could to get things back. 30 of 49, 379 unofficially. That's a tough battle, but if you've got yourself an accurate quarterback like Jordan Sipe, you've got great running game involved, like that's a recipe for success in Mexico City.
Well, on behalf of Brett Solberg, Ron Haynes, Justin Reside in the Stats Truck, Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ, my name is Eric Benson. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the SFL on VFN. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.
Woo-hoo!